Today on Project Shop, we're going to be stripping some more copper wire. This wire came from a large building. There was a generator that I wind up selling for my customer. I made $2 grand on the deal, so that was pretty good. And this was the wire that was underneath of it running to the panels. There was three-phase 480 lines coming off the generator. So there was 3 tubes in the ground that had 4 wires in them each running into the transfer switch. And while the crane was there after removing the generator, we just had the crane pull the wire out, which made it really easy. And so anyway, we're gonna pull this wire out and cut it into manageable lengths, maybe 10 to 20 feet long, depending, because it's probably 60, 70 feet long on these runs. But I want to show you something real quick. If you have a chance and you don't have a wire stripper, put your copper out in the sun. This stuff's been sitting out in the sun for a while. It's pretty hot. If you get it hot, that insulation will come right off, no problem. But we got a wire stripper, so we're gonna go the easy route. Okay, I started pulling this stuff out, and as you can see, this is actually 4 500 MCMs and a small ground. I thought it was 3. It's a lot heavier deal on dragging this. We actually loaded this on my truck with the crane. So I unbolted my Greenlee cable cutters. These are 706 models, I guess, made in America, and they make pretty good. They make light work of this stuff. Let's see here. Put it on there, and you can do this one-handed. So I'm just gonna cut it, go right down the line, cut a big groove in there, and then just start pulling the pieces, put it right through the machine. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to set the machine up for the different size wires. You never wanna go more than 80% of the hole. Like, it'll fit in this one, but you don't wanna go in there. You want about 80%. And then what you need to do is jack the shafts up, and that's what these are for. You turn these, and there's a pin that pushes up on that shaft, and then when you do that, it'll tighten the spring. Then you got to come up here and adjust the spring. And since we're running that big wire, I know we got to open it up pretty much almost all the way, and we'll run a piece through there and see where we're at. And then we never touch this one here because it's got the actual gears, which I don't know why they designed it like, well, it's probably because it's cheaper. But what I would have done is put a 3rd shaft right here and ran a chain to that shaft, and then a chain to this one. This one can float all at once without the gears opening up, because you can see, let me see if we can see it. They're pretty deep gear, but when you start running stuff in here and this side comes up, you can hear the gears grinding, and sometimes it actually skips. So you can see I got this cranked all the way down, and then I just adjusted on that side over there. So now that, let's jack this side up. Now that we got this thing jacked up, and you always want to keep these level. You don't want just one side popping up, because what'll happen is when it pops up, the blade will actually turn, and then you'll be cutting the side. When you get into smaller wire, that's more important, not so much the big wire. You'll cut the side, it just won't work too good. So now that we got that, I got these cut in small pieces just as testers. Looks like we're cutting the top maybe. Probably need a little more pressure on the back side. We're just gonna crank down on it a little more and see what happens. Pretty good. All right, so I'm happy with that. So we're just gonna go ahead and take my Greenlees here, which used to be bolted right there. This stuff is just too heavy to move, and we're just gonna chop this down probably into 10-foot sections, make it easy on myself. I'm doing this by myself. It's probably 3:30 now. So now that we got all set up, let's see how long it actually takes to strip all this with this machine. All right, so I managed to make a big mess over here, but I want to show you how I start my copper donuts. This time I'm using a pallet because this is gonna be, I can drag this up on my trailer with the crane, but I wouldn't be able to pick it up either way, and it's gonna be easier to offload it over there with a pallet. I know the weight on it for the tear weight, and that's why I'm using these copper pieces as cross pieces just to jack it up enough so I can get some smaller copper to wrap this when I'm done. But this transformer's working out really well. Nice wide area to start the copper. This is big stuff, kind of hard to deal with. And I think I'm gonna keep everything down to about 10-foot lengths, because twisting this in here to get it right is, you know, it's a lot of work. But probably got about a quarter of it done in an hour. Now that I'm set up like this, it'll probably go a lot faster. All right, so we got everything all cleaned up. This is the start of my donut. It's about up to my knee almost already. I mean, minus the pallet, but anyway, I think it's probably about a good 700-800 pounds in there. We're just gonna keep going up to about the top of this transformer and then start filling up the inside. I'm gonna cut them a little shorter. That was tough moving that shit around. Definitely hoping we get all the copper on there. And then I got some more copper I'll strip when I'm done to add to it. But I think we probably got about a quarter of it done. Yeah, you can tell this is some big stuff, and it's heavy. I might have to take the day off on Sunday. Okay, so as you can see, I got all the copper off the trailer. I got it all cut in about 8-foot lengths, 8 to 10-foot lengths, and then I got all the small wire that'll go quick. It's getting late. I'm not gonna run the machine, but I got half of it done myself. This is the donut we got so far. As you can see, it was buckling in and pushing the drums in. So first I had to strap the drums and the transformer together. It's even pushing in that wall on that transformer. So much pressure. It was blowing out the sides. The donut had so much pressure, so I had to kind of reinforce that and reinforce that so we can keep it contained. And then we're going to take this smaller wire when we're done and wrap this before I move all this stuff out of the way. All right, we're back at it. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Got a little knot already started, so let's see how long it takes. I know they got some help. Okay, so that literally took about an hour. And our copper donut is 3 feet high and about 1.5 foot thick in some spots. And definitely was putting some pressure on these drums. You can see they're all a little bit deformed from trying to hold in all that copper. And it's pushing in on that transformer pretty good. So what we got left is all this little wire that was, I guess, the ground. We're going to set the machine up, strip this down, and we're going to use this to cinch up the copper so that it doesn't explode when we take the drums out of here. Okay, here's a final product on that one job. I managed to get all of that smaller wire down inside. Before I started doing that though, I wrapped it because in the beginning I left those pieces down there so I can sneak that wire in there. So I got 4 wraps so this thing don't explode, and I left 4 pieces out so that I can wrap the pallet, and I'm going to do an X when I'm done. But I'm gonna, all right, it's the final product. I'm getting ready to put the tailgates down and drag this thing up on my trailer, take it to Miami in the morning. I'm gonna say this is probably about 3,400 pounds, 30 inches high, about 16 inches thick. So we'll get this loaded up, strapped down, on this way to Miami. All right, so let's go over the numbers for the job. I picked up 3,798 pounds of #1 insulated copper. I paid $5,886.90. I picked it up on a Thursday. I showed up on the job at 2, and I got home at 5 after loading it, and it also included the crane picking up and removing a generator that was on top of this copper. On Friday, I had some things to do in the morning, so I didn't actually start working on that copper until 3 in the afternoon. I put in 4 hours. That I got half of it stripped, and then all of it prepped and cut and ready to go. And then Saturday, I worked 8 to 10. The first hour, I had some help. 2 people helped me, so there's 2 more hours on that. In the last hour, I stripped that smaller ground wire by myself and then wrapped up the thing. Sunday took me an hour to load it. Monday took me 2 hours to drive to Miami and get it offloaded and get paid. So in total, it was 14 hours. I'm adding $100 for food and fuel. Total cost to me was $6,026.90. We stripped down 3,440 pounds of bright and shiny. So I think my last prediction was 3,400 pounds on that pallet before I pulled it on the trailer. And I'll show you how I usually estimate that pretty close. I got $2.68 a pound. The total was $9,219.20 minus the $6,000 I paid. Came out to $3,192.10. $1.30 profit. Took me 14 hours to do the job, so that comes out to $228.02 per hour. And then it actually only took me 4 hours to strip the job. So that stripping machine was producing $798.07 per hour profit. And then overall, it chewed through, it made that $9,000, $2,300 an hour pretty much. And then here's the ticket, Bear Bright Copper, 3440, 268, $9,219. And they always give you a check, anything over $1,000. And then I'll show you real quick how I know how much money I'm going to make right off the bat. Is always 1/3 of the total profit, total cost of the wire, is what you're going to get. So say you pick up 1,000 pounds of number one insulated, and at today's market you pay $1,550. Immediately you can take 10% off for insulation. That's how I figure everything out right away. So you take 100 pounds off, you got 900 pounds of copper. You times that by today's market, you get $24.12. You got $862 worth of profit in that load, and which is basically 1/3, of the total weight after you strip it. So that's how I figure out how much money. I knew I was going to make about $3 grand as soon as I loaded this stuff on my truck. I could have had that done in one day if I would have brought in some help, but I had other things going on, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to sell it until Monday. So that's why I kind of took my time and did it over a couple of days while I had other things going on. But anyway, if you came this far, thanks for watching, and I'll try to get some more copper.